Hey kid, don't ever let them get inside your head. They'll tell you what to do in life instead of everything you know that you could get.
What is up, randos? It has been a little while since I've recorded. That's fine. It's mostly because I wasn't feeling it, but I finally grabbed my bootstraps and picked myself up. And we're just going out for a ride. I didn't ride yesterday, and yesterday was a by far better day to ride. It was a light overcast all day with just the slightest breeze. And it was in like the mid to upper 70s, and it was just perfect riding weather. But I just was so burned out mentally that at the end of my workday, I'm like, I want to go home. And that's what I did, and unfortunately I did miss out on a beautiful day of riding, but it is also pretty nice today. It's not as nice in my opinion, but still nice. So we are out riding, and I think we're gonna hit up some nostalgic spots for me. And not necessarily nostalgic in a good way, not necessarily in a nostalgic in a bad way, but nostalgic nonetheless. So what we are going to do, we're gonna go past the college I attended. We're gonna go do a little tour through my hometown, which isn't much of a town, it's really just a village. But we're gonna do that. And then someone's smoking some good stuff. And then we're gonna go home, make dinner, do some chores around the house, prepare for the weekend, which should hold 2 tabletop games for me, so long as my group don't back out again. I still think in Ohio we should allow filtering. Maybe not necessarily lane splitting, but filtering at least. Because my God, does this bike take off, and all the cars around me are just, they just feel like snails. I mean, I'm also a little bit of a send it boy, so I shouldn't really talk too much. You know, it's bad, but at the same time, if the shoe fit, wear it. But we'll pick up in a few when I'm at the campus. Alrighty, had to take a detour. The road that I was using, I got off of to get gas, because as always I need it. And then when I went to get back on it, it was so backed up that people were completely blocking a intersection. So I'm hoping I remember this side road route to get there, because, you know, it's been hell 7-8 years since I've used these roads. Alright, so this is the campus. Some of it at least. Well, not technically. So this is Ohio University, Zanesville branch. Ohio University as in The Ohio State University, OU Athens, the big party college here in Ohio. That is a shared building between both. That's where they have their student center where you can buy, you know, your books. It's the campus store, that's what it's called. It's the campus store where you get your books and other things you need for the class. I had one class in that building. That's also where they had the cafeteria, where the culinary students made food for, I mean, literally everybody. And I honestly don't really know what that is. I don't think I've ever seen it used before. Yeah, so store and building. This all used to be the Muskingum Recreation Center, which we're in Muskingum County, and Now it's the YMCA here, but when I was a student here, if you brought them your your class schedule and gave them a copy of your class schedule to keep, you got free membership for the semester. And it looks like they had a disc golf stuff. And then this is I believe the science hall, health and science hall. I had a bunch of lectures here. One of the primary buildings, just the college hall. I had an AutoCAD class in there. I took tutoring lessons in there. Tutoring lessons. I was tutored in there. And that's where they did orientation and stuff. This building right here in the center, right here, that is Todd Hall. That is a shared building with a couple of classrooms, but like I think this entire half of it from the entrance to the left is all library. Plenty of naps were taken in there. Public computers with your student logins was used a lot. But the biggest thing is I really didn't hardly spend any time there. I spent all my time over here across the way. Now this is a Zane State specific building. The Ohio University didn't get any access to this. But this is where majority of the engineering and the science classes were held. The non-chemistry science classes were held. A couple math classes were held because they had larger rooms here. But that's where I spent most of my time in my 2-year degree. My time in college getting my 2-year associate's degree was in that building right there. I would park way at the end of the parking lot because everyone was always trying to park as close as they could, and some people skateboarded and longboarded and just would scratch people's cars and didn't care, so I parked far away. Now up here, I don't remember why it's important. I'll slow down, but this is the Zanesville Y Bridge. See if you can read that plaque. Now this is considered downtown Zanesville, and right here we got the courthouse. And when Pokemon Go first came out, me and some friends came here like pretty much every night, or every other night, if not every night, and we walked for probably like 4 hours. Because there's a couple Pokemon stops and stuff like that around here, and then the courthouse itself is a gym. And we got this big ass Dutros, which is a Nissan, Ford, Lincoln, and I think other new and used car dealership. It's up around Ohio, and you want to hunt for a deal. I think they're usually pretty fair. But what's fun is right up here we're going to go underneath some train tracks, and I swear to God, when I was growing up and when I first started driving, every time I came through here there was always a car slammed into this on one side or the other. Which always made me nervous driving about going that way. Right here, this building to my right, the Honda Suzuki Polaris. I went there before I got my Vulcan, inquiring about getting a Grom and helmet and stuff, and they're like, you should probably get something bigger than a Grom for your first bike. Like, I don't know. And Sid, 7th Sentinel, if you're watching this Harley dealership right over here ought to be awfully familiar to you. So I guess one more thing before I actually get to my hometown is this stretch of road. This is, I think this is 93 north and south, maybe? I think. Don't quote me. We'll see a sign eventually. But this road here was the first, I don't want to say straight stretch, but this was the first road that I really opened up the Vulcan when I first rode it. In fact, my loop went from my parents' house basically to this road, all the way to that Walmart, turned around. Well, I stopped at the Walmart to get a soda and stuff, turned around, and I went home. But those of you who have talked to me and know the story about the Vulcan, you know that on my first ride on the road, which is what I'm talking about right now, I wrecked. I wrecked in my hometown area, so we'll get to that when we get there. Up here on the right, not here, like past these trees and stuff, there's a building that I think is some type of like minuscule pottery ceramic museum type deal. Yeah, Clay Center of Ohio. So my town was at one point the #1 source of clay, raw clay and ceramic goods for the state of Ohio. In fact, I think it's that building up there in the hill, the first building that was up there. There are these like brown ceramic mugs, plates, bowls that they kind of have a pattern to them. They almost look like they're cut and carved out of wood, but like the darker brown is the bark and the lighter brown is like the inner flesh. And apparently those are like super collectible and rare. And I believe the guy who made those is either from here, Crooksville, Ohio, or from Zanesville, but like would come and outsource the clay from here to, and then, you know, everything to make his ceramic goods. So probably do like 2 loops through the main part of town, just to give you guys a chance of seeing, for the most part, everything. So anybody that has talked to me more personally, and I can't remember if I've ever brought it up in a video before or in one of the Weird as a Symbol podcasts, but while I was in school, I was part of marching band and concert band. Well, marching band, our high school team, when we played at home, played at this field up here, which I think is no longer in use. There's a nasty storm and it just ripped it all up, and the city refused to pay for any repairs done to it. So I'm gonna regret this, but we're gonna oh yeah, the bleachers and everything are gone. Buildings haven't been painted. Yeah, this place is done so. Yeah, that's the community pool. I think I went there a total of 10 times between like birthday parties and stuff. I never went there, which was fine with me. It was always way too crowded, too many people that didn't like me and the family in town, and I got bullied. One guy almost drowned me. Like, I was underwater for far too long, and I definitely inhaled way more water than a, oh god, how old was I? Like 9-year-old boy should have inhaled. But this is, I kid you not, this is like probably the cheapest place in Ohio to live. And I say that because right up here, there is a house, not that one. Actually, no, I think it is that one. One of the houses right here on the corners went up for sale. Actually, you know what? I think it's this house right here. So one of the houses right here on this strip went up for sale when I was looking to purchase my first home. And shit, it sold for like under 20 grand. And it was a 4-bedroom, 4.5 bath, full basement, unfinished, off-street parking. But it was just an absolute crap hole. I don't remember what this was before it was a gym, but I actually don't think it was anything. I think originally it was nothing, just an abandoned building. And there used to be a light here, but that light's gone. Oh my God, when the hell did they redo the bridge? This bridge was a death trap for years. And they fixed this? That was a nasty thing to hit. And then right up here, literally right here used to be a light and it's gone. So there, I now come from a town with no lights. Peach's place. That place is significant. That was like the only mom and pop place in town for food. Everything else that's mom and pop here in town are taverns. Or actually not even taverns, they're just straight up bars. And I never went to any of them. I've only been to one bar in this town. I might swing in and get a beer on my way out. And then all of this stuff out here, for the most part, is just residential housing. Had a buddy that lived down on that street. Well, we used to be friends. Or no, it was here. It's down here on White House Street, I think. Fuck me, I'm so... Sleepy's Tavern. Yep, that was like the one that everybody's parents went to. Except mine, because they didn't drink. But there's like 2 bars in town. I don't remember one. I know Sleepy's, but Sleepy's was like the one everybody went to. And there's 2 barbers. There's one down here on the road that I went to once and I swore to never go back to. And then there was one that we passed where that first light should have been. Oh, I think there's the other tavern down there. Or not tavern, bar. They don't serve food, they just serve alcohol. Now this here, this is I think it's a ceramic factory. I was supposed to intern there while I was in my last semester of college and then get hired on full-time there after some training. But the guy I interviewed with was, one, he was wearing sweatpants and a ripped up, like half-destroyed hoodie. I came in dirty jeans and a flannel, and he said I was way overdressed. So, okay. Anyways, that didn't work out, which was thank God to the betterment, because man, they fixed these tracks here too. All of these tracks that I went over were like god atrocious last time I came through town, which was I think 2 years ago. They fixed this bridge too, dude. All of the bridges in this town were like crumbling, falling apart to the point you could put an entire leg through and it would hang out the bottom. Now this place here, it's Shriver's now, but before it was like the only pharmacy in town plus a mini mart, and it was called Blackers, and a teacher of mine owned it. And then right here's the police building and all of that, and behind it is the town rec center, but it was also the rec center and preschool where I attended. And the Subway I worked at, where I wanted to unalive myself. It was that awful. And then one of like, I think it's the only pizza place left in town outside of Peach's. But at one point we had, I think, 3 or 4 different pizza places in town. That was it. Like you had Peach's family restaurant, and then you had franchise, crappy pizza, and Subway. That was it. Like, we're too small for a freaking McDonald's or a Wendy's. First time I got pulled over was on this road right here. Cop was going this way, I was going this way. I just let Subway at work. I hit this sign which says 55. I was going 50, so I upped it to 55. He passed me right here, went down to where the road starts to split to be two this way, two that way. Did a U-turn without his lights on and fucking gunned it and pulled me over right up here at the beginning of the guard. And he walked up, fucking damn near smashed my side window with his flashlight and said, "Hey, what the fuck are you doing?" I'm like, "Going home, sir." And then he just started, he was the brand new cop in town. Like, he moved here from wherever the hell because he got a job here. And he just had a mightier than thou attitude. Dude was super young, definitely fresh out of the academy, and just had a fucking hard on for giving people tickets. So he's like, "You're under 18, I can do this, I can do that, I can do this." And I'm like, "Man, I just made your food an hour ago. You know we close at 10 and it's 11:30, and I just left because I had to clean." And I just like, I very quickly was like, "All right, yes sir, no sir, fuck you sir," and it's whatever. He was being a dickhead, I was being respectful. Didn't get a ticket, but he was threatening to give me a ticket and send me back to, and he's like, "You're gonna have a mandatory court date, you're gonna have to go through schooling again." I'm like, "Dude, I want to go home. I reek a Subway, I'm tired, I got class in the morning, I'm a high school kid, like, let me go." But right here is where I had my first accident. I came in, and as you can see, there's gravel not covering the entrance, but it was here, and I wrecked it right down into that grass. But this is my high school alma mater. This is where I attended elementary school, middle school, and high school. And in the last 3 years, they've updated almost everything. This whole stadium here is brand new. Buildings here is brand new. Parking lot here was freaking atrocious last time I was here. Oh. Well, they have it blocked off, so we can't get to the upper parking lot. That's fine. Oh, they even got a new playground. Oh, I guess school's back in session, so it makes sense. Well, marching band's practicing. I'm gonna be honest, I don't really miss marching band. I do miss competitive archery though. But yeah, I wrecked right down at that stop sign. Long story short, I had a dude just absolutely on my ass and was not giving me any room to safely slow down or turn, and I came in too hot. I turned the bars hard and I leaned real hard, and I just lost everything in the front end. And instead of going down immediately, I tried to recover it. I rode it out a little bit, and that's all she wrote. I got up, assessed the damage. I lost most of the skin on my arm from essentially rash burn, and that was that. Now I need to find a place to turn around. And yeah, I don't come down here unless I'm coming to see my family that still lives in the area, and even then I really don't do that very often. So I'm kind of a bad I am a bad son and bad grandson because I never come and visit. I suppose I can go to grandma's for a few minutes, just pop in, say hi, because she's annoyed that I don't visit. But I'm gonna have to turn around and leave pretty quick too. Well, I went down, saw my grandma, but it looks like some unexpected rain is coming through, and it's gonna be a rainstorm. So I need to book it home, and there's no quick way home. And this is actually kind of fun. This is the old Midway Speedway. It's a dirt track, racetrack, not very big. My dad, when he was in his younger days, and I think even when my sister, the eldest of my siblings, was still kind of young, he used to race there. But then eventually he quit because it wasn't smart. It wasn't the most safe thing for him to do with, you know, a family relying on his paycheck to, you know, pay the bills. And it was supposed to be clear all week when I checked the weather. Well, that's my own fault. You live in the Midwest, in my opinion, especially Ohio. But when you live in this area, you give it 10-20 minutes, the weather's going to change. I kid you not when I say in one day we experienced all 4 seasons here in Ohio. It was sunny and hot and humid, and then you got a nice quick breeze that came in and made it feel like autumn, and then you got snow and ice in a couple of hours, and then boom, all that passed and you got rain. So you went from summer to fall to winter to spring, and this all did happen in late winter, early spring. So, you know, it is what it is. But thank you. Love and appreciate each and every single one of you that came by to watch this. Thank you for hitting a like. Thank you for dropping a comment. Thank you for being in the premiere. And I cannot wait to see each and every one of you in the next one.